World building. 6 words. Fake it till you make it.
In the beginning, the universe was created. This has made a lot of people very angry and been widely regarded as a bad move.
Hey folks, Doomed Wizard here. So you've run a couple modules, you got a feel for being a DM, and now you want to build your own world, but the task just seems too daunting. Well, fear not, your pal the Doomed Wizard has got your back. Although these tips are mostly geared towards fantasy worlds, certain aspects of them can be used in other genres as well. So what do I mean when I say fake it till you make it? In Chapter 7 of Michael Shea's excellent book, The Return of the Lazy Dungeon Master, when developing fantastic locations, he recommends you start with an evocative name. Giving a location an evocative name, such as the Hill of the Great Skull or the Bridge of Teeth, fires up the imagination. Back around 1992, when my group was mostly playing 2nd edition D&D, we had 3 DMs and 1 big party of adventurers. We'd alternate DMs so all 3 of us could get a chance at playing in the adventures, but eventually it came down to me as the group's forever DM. Since we were playing modules and never really established what realm it was, I decided to create my own for their characters. The first thing my world needed was a name, an evocative name, if you will. I've always been a Norse mythology buff, so I went through a list of the names of their gods and landed on Tyr, the god of war, but with 2 R's, because it looked cool. It instantly told me that this was a Norse-like savage world where kingdoms were constantly at war, which in turn conjured up some of my favorite Frazetta paintings, which I stole from literally, but more on that later. My world practically created itself from there. Not exactly an original world, but one I could work with, and most importantly, one I could expand upon as my players explored this savage world. Some of you may recall me talking about how much I love Thunder the Barbarian in my previous videos. Tyr became a world similar to that over time, still holding on to its quasi-Nordic themes, and I never would have gotten there without starting small with an evocative name. So essentially, I faked it till I made it. Don't feel obligated to create a grandiose world for your players to explore right off the bat. It's perfectly fine to have the party simply roam from town to town, having small adventures as you slowly flesh out your world. Once you've got a larger chunk of it mapped out, then fall back on everything that you've already created for your epic adventure, if that's your thing. Maybe an evil force has crept over the known lands, and the heroes are commissioned by the adjoining kingdoms to deal with it. And the best part is, your players will probably never know you were making it up as you were going along, or even care, as long as they're having fun. And small initial adventures put less pressure on you, the GM, as well, giving you time to think up bigger things. Making it up as you go along can also lead to some pretty spectacular, unexpected moments in your campaigns. After about an 8-year run on Tyr, I wanted to move on to something else, so I created this epic conclusion where the party came face to face with a massive black dragon. It was supposed to be a life or death struggle, but in the first round of combat, as the dragon came barreling down on the party, one of the party stepped up and fired a single arrow. An arrow of black dragon slaying. On a nat 20, no less. The dragon never knew what hit him. "Where the hell did you get that?" I asked. "I found it about 5 years ago," he said. Now, if I would have had the whole epic quest thought out, things would have probably gone down a whole lot differently. But as it is, we still laugh about it to this day. Now obviously I'm oversimplifying world building. Giving your world an evocative name isn't all there is to it, but it's a start. Another thing you can do to make world building easier is to steal from everything. I've mentioned in a previous video how the Warlord comic, Thunder the Barbarian, and Jack Vance's Dying Earth series heavily influenced me. All of these elements work their way into the world of Tyr. Stealing helps you fill in the gaps for your expanding world. This includes modules too. Sternheim, the city in the Fighters Challenge, was the town my players just came across and set up roots in. Once the players explored everything in the sandbox around Sternheim, I began filling in the blank areas as well as expanding outward from there. I mentioned in my one-page dungeon video how I strung a bunch of one-page dungeons together to make a campaign for 5e. The same thing can apply to world building. At least it'll get you thinking in that direction. But those are just 2 tricks to world building that have worked for me in the past. What are some of yours? Feel free to leave some of your ideas in the comments. And if you'd like to hear more of my world building ideas, let me know in the comments as well. If you like my videos, please take a moment to do all the YouTube things. Subscribe, comment, share with a friend, like, and don't forget to hit that little bell icon so you don't miss a single video. Thanks for watching.